Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, it's been a tough one to take. It's been a brutal 24-plus hours. Try to keep yourself at least somewhat positive. Maybe find other things. I don't know. A girlfriend's always the way to go, right? That's always a good thing. Outside of that, I don't know, maybe some golf, maybe some shopping, maybe just enjoy the weather because your football team sucks. I mean, your football team is just awful. And here we are in year 4 of a rebuild for the mastermind himself, Trent Baalke. We're in year 3 of the Super Bowl winning coach, Doug Pederson. And I can't think of, in 34 years of doing this, a Monday where I have been more shocked than I am right now. I cannot believe a change did not happen today. I cannot believe a firing did not happen today. The Jaguars lose 52-6. They allow the most points in franchise history. The margin of victory was the most, 46, in franchise history. Yards allowed, 645, the most in franchise history. 38 first downs allowed, the most in franchise history. Detroit scored on all 7 of their first possessions and basically did whatever they wanted to do against the lifeless Jacksonville Jaguars. And today they walked out Doug Pederson, who is such a lame duck. And I'll credit Doug. He answered the questions today. I felt like he wanted to say so much more. But I'm going to actually put the word class next to Doug Pederson today for owning it, for saying, yet again, it starts with me. It would have been so easy to push this off on anyone else. And, you know, he's done it a little bit with Trevor. I think that, for me, is really the first time or the second time or the third time where I felt like he was checking out. There's been some comments made towards Trevor, but really comments made to no one else. As far as his staff is concerned, as far as his other players are concerned, shocked. So I'm, surprised and shocked, right? I remember years ago, who the heck was Jim Tressel? The 7 years I spent in Chicago, every year the Big Ten meetings, or just about every year, they were in Chicago. And I remember getting with Jim Tressel, and I had a one-on-one interview, then the head coach of Ohio State. And I asked him about Maurice Clarett, who I forget what he did now. He, got involved with a tattoo parlor or something, and he ended up getting kicked out of school. And I said, well, this is devastating news. And he looked at me and he said, it's not devastating. It's disappointing. Okay? It's the same way when I look at shocking and surprising. This is not a surprise that the Jaguars have not made a move today. This is a freaking shock. Okay? Shad Khan has absolutely no idea what is going on with his fan base. He is so incredibly out of touch, and it's damaging the Jaguars' name across the NFL. I went back and forth today with an NFL insider. All right? We text quite a bit. And he asked me what was going on here, and I was laughing as we got closer and closer to the 1:45 scheduled presser. And the only thing I said to him, it was Jacksonville is such a dysfunctional franchise. His one-word response to me was horrendous. Okay? The Jaguars are a laughingstock around the NFL. There is a thought that all of this organization cares about is making money, and putting a winner on the football field is secondary. Now, there's rumors all over the place, right? Pederson's gone, Trent's gone, Belichick's coming, Ben Johnson, got that opportunity yesterday to observe what his future team would be like, and he's going to come, and he's going to bring Mark Brunell with him, and Tony Baselli's going to grab, one of those major spots above the GM. He's going to be the conduit to Shad Khan and the Jaguar fans because, let's face it, this organization doesn't do a good job cleaning up messes, putting out fires. I think in season there's transparency. They walk out Pederson 4 days a week, right? They do that after the game on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They give the coordinators on Thursday. Of course, they have an off day on Tuesday. I think they do a nice job in season. Locker rooms available. But when you need answers in a one-horse town, and I don't say that with disrespect because I love the minor league sports in this city. I love the college athletics in this city. But come on, you got one major league platform, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And there are times where there are issues, there are problems, where days and weeks go by, and you don't get anything back from them. And that's poor. And that does start at the top. Right now, all of this is on Shad Khan. And I've been wrestling with this really all morning, all afternoon. Shad is so wealthy. He is so successful. I've always been under the opinion for the most part that you've got to be an intelligent human being to be that successful. Now, I've mentioned that prior. I've said that before on some shows, and some people have argued with me. I don't want to get into that, arguing whether or not success is built because you are smart or intelligent. The bottom line, if you've ever heard Shad Khan talk, he is a very smart man. Okay, he bought this franchise for $770 million. It's worth north of $4 billion right now. I cannot believe that he's not aware of what is going on in this city. How can he not be? I get that he doesn't live here. Yeah, I kind of get the feeling he's probably not piped in the 1010XL today. He's got other endeavors. He's got other companies to buy. He's got other things to do. Because I keep getting that. He's so out of touch. He's so this. He's so that. And I just want to agree with you. I just want to say, yeah, you're right. But is that really it? Or is the stigma that Shad Khan doesn't like to pay money to people he has fired? It's a bye week. What is Doug Pederson making? $8.5 million? You're going to make $500,000 this week. Make him work during the bye. Is that what, even though that upsets you, is that what Shad Khan is thinking? Make this man work. Make this staff work. $500,000 for Shad Khan is nothing, but that has always been something that has been hanging over his head. He's not a big fan of paying money to guys or gals and just say goodbye to him, not allow him to work anymore. Even though his general manager just gave up Roy Robertson Harris and $10.3 million, just threw that out the freaking window. Gave up $7 million for Minnesota to take Cam Robinson for a future 2026 pick, which is probably going to be a fifth rounder, could be a fourth runner, and you added so this $17.3 million, you bring up the Deshaun Gibson mess, that's $18 million. That his general manager literally just threw out the window. So what's $500 large a week pay for Doug Pederson? I don't know. But I do. I think that has something to do with all of this. And it's a sad set of circumstances. It really is. You wish that this owner, and here's where the problem lies, is that you knew Wayne Weaver. You knew those losses destroyed him. Okay, Wayne Weaver was the owner when this was an expansion team in 1995 and went to Detroit and lost 44-0. You hear that Shad Khan is upset, but is he really? Or is he on his laptop, or is he on the phone with his associates, and he's making millions and millions, and he's doing this? He's got so many things going on, not to mention a professional soccer team, a professional wrestling organization, and who knows how many other businesses. Unlike Wayne Weaver, it's tough to believe that Shad Khan tosses and turns at night. That he gets up first thing in the morning and it's like, what am I going to do with this football franchise? Where you're freaking out. The media has their opinion and it's basically everyone has to go. Shad Khan, the bottom line, $770 million, now worth more than $4 billion? What a major success for Shad Khan. He just got a stadium deal. He's going to continue to play games in London. He only does interviews in London. He didn't do them here in Duval, right? The one he does here in Duval, it's no football questions are allowed to be asked, okay? That was what was told to the local media. Don't ask about the football team. Shad's not going to answer that. He'll sit down with a couple of you folks over in London. I mean, think about that for a moment. That's when he did his interviews this year, over there. He didn't even do them here. You know, I really feel awful for Jacksonville people. I do. That's the thing about this one. You know, I get all the Florida State stuff and the year they've had. Okay, Florida State's had success. They've won national titles. They blew national titles because of poor coaching in big games, wide rights, 1987, not putting Deion Sanders on Michael Irvin, blowing a 19-3 lead. How do you not beat Florida in 97 with the rotation of the quarterbacks? Hell, they almost lost Bowden's first national title. They tried to play Nebraska in a phone booth. As much as I loved Bowden in big games, man, he was a really, really bad coach, okay? And I love the man. But Florida State has tasted all sorts of success. If Florida State's going to come back, it's not going to happen overnight. It may not happen with this coaching staff. But those fans, okay, deal with it. You signed up for it. You're living in it. And this is life, okay? Jacksonville's totally different, man. You folks have been dealing with this for 30 years. This is the losingest franchise in professional sports over the last 10 seasons. And you're 2-9 right now. And there's not a glimmer of hope. Lost in all of this is as follows. We can blame Trent Baalke. We can blame Doug Pederson. There also has to be a tremendous amount of blame that goes on these players. Where's your pride? Where's your professionalism? Where's your overall effort, or perhaps the lack thereof, in a game where you're supposed to play 60 minutes and it comes down to one possession? You just allowed 645 yards. 645. You gave up 52 points. This happens in college football. This doesn't happen in the NFL. And this team looked disinterested. They were more than flat. This football team doesn't have an alpha dog. Really. I mean, who's your alpha? Is it Josh Hines-Allen? He told us a couple of weeks ago in Philadelphia after a loss that what a great game it was. You know, we lost today, but what a... Are you kidding me? You want to hear that it's a great game after you lose? There's no identity. There's no toughness. They're soft. They get beat up in the ditch, offensively and defensively. Individuals who do what I do, we complain about the same thing year after year after year after year after year, yet they laugh at us. You don't know football. You don't know anything. And I'm not going to say I know football as well as they do, but it's my job to look at it and describe what I see. And I see a soft football team with no leaders. Okay? Not one. Quick. Who's the biggest leader on the Jacksonville Jaguars? Who is it? Let me sit here and think. Who do you got for me, JJ? Who's the biggest leader on this team?
Trevor Lawrence?
Okay, and a lot of people think he's sitting out right now because he's mad. Right. Is that what a leader does?
No.
I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying that there's that school of thought out there that he's taking this off because he doesn't like Pederson and he doesn't like Press Taylor. Who else would it be? Anyone on that offensive line? I mean, that's your identity. Look at Detroit's offensive line. Look at how that Detroit organization has been built. Look at that Philadelphia offensive line you went up against a couple of weeks ago. This offensive line in town here is god-awful. And I've been yelling about it now for 4 consecutive years. Regardless of what happens and who the next head coach is, and if they do make a change at general manager, that is going to be my same off-season number one go-to. Fix your offensive line. It is terrible. They can't run. They can't move anyone. They can't pass protect. They're consistently somewhere in the neighborhood of 28, 29, 30, 31st in the NFL. And this is an ongoing problem. Year after year after year after year. And again, for all the Cam Robinson supporters, look at what the team got in return. Look at what the team got. A 2026 pick, which is probably going to be a 5th rounder, could be a 4th. And you also gave Minnesota $7 million with 9 games to go just to take him off your hands. Because, again, there's no leadership on the team. Cam Robinson, because he's not starting, can sit on the sideline. He can suck his thumb and say, hell no, I'm not going in. And there's not one person on that roster who can walk up to Cam Robinson and say, hey, man, be a pro. Go in there and play. That's always been the problem. I remember when I was a sideline reporter 10 years ago, and Jared Odrick completely lost his mind on the sideline. No one could settle him down. I mean, this went on for 2.5 minutes. Finally, it was Mercedes Lewis. I was doing a show here with, I can't even think of his name now, Jackson in the middle.
Malik.
Malik Jackson. And we were talking about it off air. And some of it I believe I can say now on air. Actually, I know I can because I've said it before. And now, granted, the defense was out there, so he was on the field. I don't know if he was on the field during that set of downs, but when we talked about it, I was like, why didn't anyone go up to that man? He's like, bro, I've been here for 4 or 5 games. I'm not the leader. I'm not the one, and that's a grown-ass man. So, again, that's been and with a totally different regime. Okay, that's a Dave Caldwell, Doug Marrone, or that's a Dave Caldwell. I can't remember if it was Marrone or if it was Gus Bradley or who the hell it was. But again, you didn't have a leader. And this team right here today doesn't have a leader. You don't have one guy that can call out the rest and say, this is, you know who the leaders appear to be to me moving forward? A guy like Ventrell Miller, a guy like Brian Thomas Jr. And Brian Thomas, he's not loud. He's not a diva like most of these wide receivers are in the NFL. He's kind of quiet in the way he's unassuming. Ventrell Miller, very personable, but he's third. I'm looking at the sheet right here. They don't even put him on the field. They keep playing Devin Lloyd. It hasn't worked out. They're playing Foye Oluokun. All right, maybe there's your leader. There's one guy I can give you. Foye Oluokun. But that's where it happens. That's where it starts. It starts at the top. It starts with Shad Khan. It starts with a brilliant front office. It starts with a head coach. Man, I laughed at Dan Campbell when he got that gig 3 years ago. I thought he would be fired in like a year and some change. I remember looking at him and like, what a jackass. I'm like, really? And, okay, Detroit's getting a ton of praise. Detroit's been around for 100 years. They haven't won squat, right? I mean, they've done nothing. They're one of 4 teams who have never been to a Super Bowl. Long-standing teams include Cleveland. You got the 2 newcomers in Houston and right here in Duval. Those are only 4 teams who have never been to a Super Bowl. There are actually 12 teams that have never won a Super Bowl. So for all of the praise that Detroit is getting, and they deserve it, let's also remember the years and the years and the decades of failure in Detroit. Very similar to what you're seeing with this Jacksonville team right here, right now. So we'll tackle it tonight. You know, there's way too many questions, far more questions than there are answers. Very disappointed in Shad Khan for letting this thing linger. I mentioned Florida State a little bit earlier. The best Florida State fans have felt all year was last week when Adam Fuller was fired, when Ron Dugans was fired, when Alex Atkins was fired. Something happened. They got blown out almost by the identical score at Notre Dame. I think it was, 51-3 or 52-3, as what happened yesterday with Jacksonville and Detroit, yet with a perfect time, with a bye, in an opportunity to do things right now, this team just didn't. And it's just going to manifest. It's just going to grow. These problems aren't going to go away. They're just going to continue to multiply. I don't know. Maybe he'll shock us. Maybe he'll make a firing later in the week. It doesn't make sense. You would think you'd want to do it as soon as possible. Announce who your interim head coach is and whatever other changes you are, in fact, going to make. Get after them right now. Here's the other part, which I want to talk about when we get back. This isn't easy. Everyone's got a name. Everyone's got names. Here's the deal. You don't know. I don't know. Has Jacksonville ever had a successful general manager? Honestly. I mean, they've only been around for 30 years. Have they ever had a successful general manager? What makes you believe their next hire is going to be the right guy? I don't want to be doom and gloom. I don't want to be that guy. But track the history. I mean, you just go get John Dorsey, right? Go out and get, Mike Disner. Oh, you don't know. You don't. Go get a head coach. Get a proven one. Get a Bill Belichick. Get Ben Johnson. You don't know. We don't know. And the one thing that this franchise has in common is that it's a losing franchise. And almost every move that they make backfires. Every once in a while, they catch lightning in a bottle, like 2022, where the whole team stayed healthy. I hear people go back and forth and try to say, well, what happened in 2022 to 2023? And everyone misses it. They were healthy. Ben Barch went out early. Shaq Griffin went out in week 6. Cam got hurt every freaking year. Cam went down late. Outside of that, they were healthy. They lost the fewest starts of any NFL organization. Look what happened to them last year. Look what's happened to them this year. It's part of the game. It's attrition. That's how they came back and won all those games in 2022. Everyone else was falling apart, and they were able to stay out on the field. It's the number one reason why, and it's been missed by so many people when they look back. And you can't fix that. There's luck involved when it comes to injuries, college or pro. You never know if it's going to happen. You can't. You cannot forecast that. When we come back, let's get to that side of things, though, because, and I'm not advocating for Bulky to stay. I'm not advocating for Pederson to stay. But the next man up is very, very, very hard. I mean, Tom Coughlin was successful. His name's hanging up in the rafters. What is he, like 8 games above 500? And you retired that man's name? 8 games. Okay, a couple of AFC championship games. I got you. But 8 games. All right, Del Rio, you tell me. Malarkey? That was the worst assembled roster I've ever seen. Gus? Marone? Okay. They went to an AFC championship game. And what a defense. And what a talented team. For all the crap that Dave Caldwell takes as the general manager, he put together a pretty good team during that run, particularly on defense in 2017. Tell you one thing, that team had alphas. That team had leaders. Not this team. And now you've seen Doug Pederson since 20-25. After 9-8 seasons, the man's 2-9. Opening comments tonight and every night brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. Played golf with a buddy last week. Said he had laser eye surgery like 15 years ago and his eyes are driving him crazy. It was bad. I said that unfortunately happened to a tremendous amount of people. And because of that, you have your opinion when it comes to eye care and you're like, I've had it. I'm not going to do it anymore. Well, issues that went wrong a decade and some change ago, again, is fairly common. If you find yourself in that position, pick up the phone, get the Shmunez Vision. Yes, they can go back in. They can repair botched laser eye surgery, okay? Give you 20/20 for the rest of your days. What about things that are so significant and scary as cataract surgery? Well, Dr. Neo Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, you're talking about their practice. They've been doing it for years and years and years. They'll also sit down with you and explain everything, and that's important, right? If you're going under, don't you want to ask questions to the doctor who is going to perform the surgery? At Shmunez Vision, you'll talk to them, and you'll talk to them until all your questions are answered. That's why they're the best in the city. Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. You can also go to Instagram and get all of the testimonials right there at Shmunez Vision. When we come back, JJ LaSelva will pipe in. Let's start kicking around the names because this is a lot harder than it looks. This is where I'll do some listening, allow you to do some spining, if you will, at 641-1010 on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And I want to get to Doug Pederson today, one of the most awkward press conferences I have literally ever seen. I felt like he wanted to say so much, but he said very, 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 very little. It's still, perhaps, depending on how you look at it, could have either have been entertaining or just really awkward. I'll let you decide.
Everything you need to know about your hometown team.
Jaguars today.
Go inside the Jags and the NFL every day from 10 to noon with Mike, Tony, and Jags Insiders.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Hey, it's Linda Beaver. Whether you're new to the area or a longtime resident, you deserve the best and shouldn't settle when buying or servicing your car. At Beaver Chevrolet, we have built our reputation on trust. You can trust us to provide the best prices, the best selection, and the best experience. You can trust me. Your neighbors can trust me. Your family can trust me. We will not let you down. Come see us at Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville to let our family take care of yours. Trust me, we're here to wow you.
Integrity, persistence, and standing up for victims. It's what you want in a personal injury case and what my friend and lawyer Glenn Cohen brings to every case for over 40 years. Call Glenn at Barnes, Cohen & Sullivan.
When mice and rats show up in your space, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents, and they'll keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so do we. Don't live with a rodent problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I just cannot say enough good things about my friends at Pella Windows and Doors. They have the highest quality products, the strongest limited warranties in the industry, and they just flat out look amazing. But don't just take my word for it. Consumer Reports still has Pella rated #1 in all 3 major window categories, so why not go with the best? Call them today or visit the Pella showroom and be sure to ask about the latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows. That's Pella Windows and Doors on Phillips Highway, and tell them Mike sent you.
He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe he got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Jags fans, looking for the perfect activity around the holidays? We've got you covered with the inaugural Teal Trot 5K. The race takes place outside Everbank Stadium, Saturday, December 21st. We can't wait to see you there. Your registration includes the 5K, a throwback Jaguars headband, and a ticket to the December 29th game against the Titans. Visit jaguars.com/Teal Trot to sign up today.
Jaguars fans, want to meet some of your favorite players? Coke Florida, Publix Supermarkets, and the Jags are giving you the chance. Join 1010XL at Publix, 170 Village Commons Drive, St. Augustine, Tuesday, November 19th at 5. For autographs, pictures, raffles, and more. Get off the sidelines and get to Publix to grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola, Coke Zero Sugar, or any of your favorite Coca-Cola beverages using Publix digital app. The Jaguars and Coke Florida. There's magic when we cheer together at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Save money this holiday season. Buy pre-owned. That's right, pre-owned guns, guitars, surfboards, tools, and especially jewelry. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn is here to help you save. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
It's a game, 80 years in the making. Join us for Thursday Night Football as we celebrate the 80th birthday of the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game. The SEC and ACC face off January 2nd at 7:30 on Bill Gay grounds at Everbank Stadium. Don't miss college football pageantry on display as we celebrate our 80th anniversary. Tickets and hospitality packages are on sale now at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com. Get yours today.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm sure over the years there were problems between Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, yet there was a conduit between them. Said, get out on stage, put on that makeup, let's make millions and millions. This franchise has not been able to do that. When it comes to Trent Baalke and Doug Pederson, apparently now when it comes to Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, and Trevor Lawrence. And Shad Khan either is fully aware of it all and just isn't doing anything, or is clueless. What is it? Your Jaguars are 2-9. They limp into a bye week that'll include the loss of Gabe Davis for the remainder of the year, who was just terrible. It was a terrible signing. He looks like a slow tight end. And what was that, $24 million guaranteed that Baalke just gave to this guy? His free agency class this year was was abysmal. Didn't work out for Eric Armstead. Really hasn't worked out for Darnell Savage. Mitch Morse, I guess, kind of a Band-Aid, right? But it's been a bad year for free agency. I don't think there's any doubt about it. All right, comments tonight brought to you by the good folks over at Miller Electric. Trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. Of course, they tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you a chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale, and they are hiring right now. So if you are an electrician, they believe in rewarding hard work with the best paid, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually cared about one another. Just go to Miller Careers. That is Miller Careers, the good folks over at Miller Electric Company. JJ, what'd you make of yesterday?
I thought that it was, clear to me. It's my opinion, of course. But it was pretty clear to me that the players saw the headlines, hey, you get blown out today, your coach is out. And they took that to heart. And they were like, all right, cool. I'm done playing for this guy. And that's obviously what happened yesterday. I don't care how terrible the scheme is on defense and how great the Lions offense is. No team in the NFL scores on 7 consecutive drives with a touchdown. That's just a team that doesn't care about being there, doesn't care about playing for their coach, has no self-pride. And they all use the excuse after the game, like, we're tired. We just need a rest. Okay.
We're tired. Yeah. Everyone's tired.
The fans are really tired.
Yeah, your fans are tired of watching this.
Dude, I can't even imagine that crowd not next Sunday, but the Sunday after that. I mean, the bank is going to be completely empty. The people that are going to be there are going to be probably Texans fans, and the Jags fans that will be there. If Balky's still there, they're going to start some sort of clown movement again, which I don't blame them for.
I'm glad you said that because I consistently laugh at those people because I've heard about it forever, and it sounds like this. That's it. If you don't fire Dave Caldwell, if you don't fire Gene Smith, if you don't fire Gus, if you don't fire Doug Marrone, I'm not coming back. I'm not buying my season tickets. And I've always said, you'll be back. I honestly, for the first time, Doug Pederson's going to be fired. There's no escaping it. It's that you're just delaying the firing of Doug Pederson. I'm not sold on the firing of Trent Baalke. I've been telling you that forever. And again, let me be crystal clear about this. I hope that I'm wrong. Okay? I do. I want to be so wrong, but I'm not convinced it's going to happen. I am hearing from more and more and more people that are saying, if Baalke's still running this team, they're not buying season tickets. And for the first time, I'm starting to believe some of these people.
Dude, one of those people, his name is Dan Hicken, and he said it on the air like last week. He said if Baalke's here after this season, he obviously has, press credentials, but he has a family, they buy season tickets. He said it on the air.
Oh, yeah.
So I definitely believe it. I know that there's certainly tons more that always say that end up going to the games, and I don't blame you. It's something fun to do. You still love your team. You still love going and having fun with your friends on a Sunday afternoon. So I get that. I'll never blame the fans for anything like that. But what was hilarious was the headline yesterday that made me think dang, maybe Ballou's onto something. Was the Baalke Hail Mary, where it was hey, Baalke's telling Shad that he thinks he can bring in Bill Belichick. And it's so...
The Florio report.
He's still listening to Baalke?
Yeah. Well, he's absolutely listening to Baalke, and we'll get to Doug Pederson and some comments he made a little bit earlier today. But, yes, I mean, my opinion has been this for quite some time. Now, when you lose 52-6, that doesn't help my opinion. But, again, I've been crystal clear about this. I want to be wrong. This isn't an ego thing where I say, I told all you people, they were going to keep. I hope I'm wrong. He should not be the general manager of this team. Doug Pederson's 20-25 with a bye week. Shad Khan is your owner. Is 62-144. Okay? This franchise is 278. Let me repeat those last two numbers for you. Shad Khan is 62-144. Okay, if he was a Major League Baseball starter, he'd be making $7 million a year. He'd be giving you 4 1/3 innings. He'd have a whip of 2.1, but he'd be making bank. Jaguars franchise is 278. This is a losing franchise. Who's going to fix it? We can all look towards a head coach. We all have an opinion on a head coach. Someone who's done it before, someone who is very regarded, like both coordinators yesterday in Detroit, whether it's Aaron Glenn on defense or Ben Johnson on offense, the college variety, which has failed for the most part. But we as fans, we have a pretty good idea about who we think the next coach should be. If you were to poll everyone who works here and you ask for 4 answers, my guess is they'd be basically in the same neighborhood. If you went to a local bar right now and just pulled up next to a diehard Jaguar fan and said, give me 4 guys, you probably get Ben Johnson, you get Bill Belichick, you get Mike Vrabel, and maybe get a Joe Brady. Okay,
or like a Cliff Kingsbury.
Right, Cliff Kingsbury, Bobby Slowick. There's a few other names you could throw in there, but the list is already trimmed. We have an idea of who we think the coach should be. When you get to the executive positions, good luck. Where are you going? You just don't bring in a current general manager. So you gamble on head of pro personnel or head of college scouting or a failed general manager who's been fired and is maybe a TV analyst or something. I mean, these are very, very, very... And look at the New England Patriots. Look at the success that franchise had. Remember Dimitroff left and Scott Pioli left and, all these front office types left and they were so highly regarded. And I know Dimitroff got to a Super Bowl, but it feels like there's far more failure at the general manager position than there is anywhere else. And there's just not a surplus of these individuals out there where you can say, let's go get Rick Spielman, who's done it at a couple of different stops and has been working at CBS Sports for the last couple of years. If I said to you right now, Rick Spielman's the guy, the text line would be filled with people saying, are you kidding me, Ballou? What are you talking about? And I'm just throwing this out hypothetically speaking, okay? My point is, this is really, really hard. And the Jaguars have never had a successful general manager. You can go back to the Coughlin, Michael Hughes days with Shaq Harris. Shaq Harris deserves some credit. He absolutely does. I should not have said it that way. Shaq did his part. Got away from him at the end. But go through history. Go back and read about Gene Smith, okay? And read about Dave Caldwell. And read about Trent Baalke. And tell me, have any one of those general managers in your eyes, despite every once in a while a successful run, a successful season, a playoff season? No. They'd all be considered failures. It was a wrap on Gene Smith, man. The guy, he was a mime. The guy was in a bunker his entire career. He believed in going out and getting guys from the Colorado School of Mines instead of an SEC school. We never saw him. I mean, do we know? Where's he gone since? Was Gene Smith actually a human being? We never saw him. Dave Caldwell's a fantastic guy. Just was with him a couple of weeks ago on a trip out to Philadelphia. Always had the utmost respect for Dave Caldwell. Sit down, have a drink with you, talk everything. Okay? It didn't work. Didn't work. Trent Baalke, that's different. That almost feels more personal in town. And the knock on Caldwell is that there was way too much leniency. He got way too many years, way too many opportunities. Shad should have fired him halfway through his tenure. Instead, he just kept surviving and surviving and surviving. With Baalke, it came with a massive reputation, right? Gene Smith, Dave Caldwell here. Caldwell came over from Atlanta but became first-time general managers. Baalke had a successful run for 4 years in San Francisco, winning seasons in San Francisco. The biggest problem for Trent Baalke is his ego. He clashes with coaches. He clashed with Harbaugh, right? Didn't work with Jim Tomsula. Didn't work with Chip Kelly. And I don't know Trent Baalke well at all, but it just, he comes across like it's very toxic, very unfriendly. And again, in this town where you have one pro franchise, major league franchise, you need to bend a little bit. You need to make yourself seen a little bit, heard a little bit, push the right buttons a little bit. Show these people that you care. I mean, it's almost like he's put himself into a me against everyone else. And I know, if there are defenders of Baalke, they'll say, oh, you folks in the media, you have an agenda. No. You had a clean slate when you got the gig. I mean,
who personally hated Baalke?
Yes.
So, what kind of media member is just like, oh man, this guy,
No.
I don't care what he does, I'm gonna have an agenda against him this whole time. Like
Never.
No media members in Jacksonville care that much about these guys.
Never.
Every media member in Jacksonville is so pro Jags, it's insane.
Amen. Amen. And I'm not going to speak for anyone else. But when I see what I have seen, the demand for change is there. And it has to happen. And it has to happen completely. I mean, the entire thing. And I hate it. I do. I hate it because there's some good people over there. And I mean coaching. And I don't mean... I'm not talking about the radio team or the equipment guys
Max, the
or
cameraman,
the
is a good
PR
guy,
staff. But hey, listen, being in that building, being in the Miller Electric Center, I'm telling you, I know what it's like. I was the sideline reporter for 8 years. I know what it's like to travel with a losing franchise. It's awful. I'm trying to think of my years. I mean, there was only a few times outside of the great run in 2017 where they actually won on the road. That means 8 times a year you're going on the road. You're losing every single game. And you get cleaned up and you do interviews and you get on the bus and you get back on that plane and it's silent. And it's awful. Being around a losing program is terrible. And that's what you got right now with a 2-9 team. So that's where we are. This stuff's going to happen with Pederson. It has to happen with Baalke, right? There's no way that Shad Khan cannot read between the lines here, even though I'm concerned about it. So just think about that for one moment. Since it's a bye week for you and you've got a little bit of downtime, give me some names, because this is not easy. And I know it may sound like I'm defending the current regime. I'm not. I just took you through history. Outside of Shaq Harris, this team has never made the right move when it comes to the person who is going to go out and get your players in free agency, go out and draft your players, and also re-sign those players. It's never worked. And you're going to be faced with that again, not to mention a coach to coach him now out on the field. Hate to be that guy, but that's where you are with this team. At least this team has a couple of building blocks, right? You got a few guys, not many. I mean, even the expendable ones, right? Who's expendable on even those who are not expendable on this team? How many do you really have? Brian Thomas Jr. is moving to the head of that list, right? A true number one superstar. along with Trevor. Yeah, right now everyone's high on Tank. Well, let's check back on Tank in 2 or 3 years. Running backs in this league are used and abused. You see what Detroit had yesterday? That's what I've been talking about forever, that I would love to see this organization have with Tank and ETN. ETN's playing hurt. You can tell. Tank wasn't even able to get on the field yesterday. But you look at Gibbs and Montgomery, what an arsenal. 2 really good wide receivers. They were out their best tight end yesterday. It didn't matter. They were flat out dominant. All right, we got much more to do with you tonight till 8 o'clock.
Bet live with Hard Rock Bet. Real-time wagering till the very last play. Missing the kickoff doesn't mean all bets are off.
Delay a game on the guy who hasn't bet yet.
Sometimes you just know your team is going to come back. The sportsbook for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Imagine beautiful new windows and doors that elevate your space and keep you comfortable year-round. At Renewal by Andersen, we specialize in custom-built, energy-efficient windows and doors that are crafted to last. Right now, for a limited time, save 20% off your entire project. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation today. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Do the Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Garber Auto Mall is home of the lifetime warranty. Every new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Ford comes with a lifetime warranty. At Garber Auto Mall, your purchase is covered for life. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Cam Little may be a rookie, but this season he has shown that no moment is too massive for him. In the first quarter, Little would knock down a career-long 59-yard field goal, giving Jacksonville a 3-0 lead with 9:36 left in the opening period. The Little field goal is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 18, 1964, Baltimore Orioles third baseman Brooks Robinson, Baseball Hall of Famer, wins American League MVP.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses an AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash in as little as one day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start to the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you can be credit card debt-free. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLS, consumeraccess.org.
This is Hayes Carlyon for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. Skylife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at Skylife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
Jaguars fans, want to meet some of your favorite players? Coke Florida, Publix Supermarkets, and the Jags are giving you the chance. Join 1010XL at Publix, 170 Village Commons Drive, St. Augustine, Tuesday, November 19th at 5. For autographs, pictures, raffles, and more. Get off the sidelines and get to Publix to grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola, Coke Zero Sugar, or any of your favorite Coca-Cola beverages using Publix digital app. The Jaguars and Coke Florida. There's magic when we cheer together at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
As much as players and coaches want to forget everything that happened in their blowout loss to Detroit yesterday and move on to the bye week, that is not realistic. Doug Pederson said this about the upcoming week at his post-game press conference.
But we do need to take, I think, the first part of the week and really reflect and go back and study and as coaches to see what's been good and what hasn't been good. So that's the great opportunity that we have. 6 games left. It'll be exciting because, most of those, I think 4 of the 6 are division games and, still an opportunity there.
The Jaguars hope the bye week will allow Trevor Lawrence an extra week of rests and anticipate that he'll be good to go in 2 weeks against the Houston Texans. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, 10 coming in on the text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Remember, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, we take calls. We are reintroducing that. Jacksonville needs to be heard. Tuesday night at 7. So, look forward to hearing from you. And in the meantime, let's grab more off the text line. This is an interesting one, 2988. Why wouldn't you want to change it up to see if another coach could do with a couple of weeks left? Clearly, what Doug is doing isn't working. Well, there's always been this school of thought. What if they fired Doug, and all of a sudden Mike McCoy takes over and they win 4 of their last 6 or 5 of their last 6? Football IQ comes into play here. And Doug Marrone was given the same title after Gus Bradley. He stayed on. Trent Baalke became the interim after Dave Caldwell and stayed on. It's an easier part of the schedule, and I know we can also kind of make the point right now, winning 4 out of 6 ain't going to happen, even though you have Tennessee twice. Looks like the Jets are lifeless. The Colts came from behind and won yesterday. We'll see. But you understand my point here. What if all of a sudden you go on a little bit of a run, like, boy, look at Mike McCoy.
Might have to hire him.
Maybe he's the answer. And again, I'm trying to find the delicate way to say this. There's a football IQ problem with the Jaguars. A lot easier to promote from within, right? And not to say that Mike McCoy wouldn't do a good job, but I don't think right now there'd be one person who would say, yeah, hire Mike McCoy. It's like you just want to get rid of all of the stink. Everyone has been around this losing process for, what are they now? 3-14 in their last 17? This is a losing operation. You need to bring in new people. That's always a risk.
Yeah, you're always going to get the new coach, interim coach bump. It happens all the time. But like you said, the back half of the schedule is way easier. So I wouldn't doubt that if Trevor played, they would crank off some wins. But like you said, anyone who knows anything about the NFL or football in general knows that interim coach bump eventually ends. And then what do you just have an interim coach as your head? You have Antonio Pierce now. You're the Vegas Raiders. So where you won some games last year and you decide to hire this guy, and now you're stuck with a coach who sucks.
Right.
It happens all the time. So
it does.
God, that would be terrible if something happened like that with Shad. But like you said, it's happened before.
Odell Higgins was the interim twice at Florida State. The Willie Taggart hire was a disaster. Okay? And then after Jimbo left. And then it happened again when they fired Taggart. And it looks like the Mike Norvell hire is a disaster. He still won 19 in a row. You can't take that away from him. But I'd like to credit my alma mater for like the first time in a year and say Odell Higgins wasn't cut out to be the head coach at Florida State. He's a position coach. This happens way, way, way too much.
Look at Michigan right now.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, they hired that guy. I don't even know his name, and I don't even care because
Sherrone
he won't
Moore.
be there long. Yeah, Sherrone Moore, because we all remember Harbaugh suspended. So he's coaching the team throughout the entire week, but then on game day when they're playing like Rutgers, who's totally outclassed anyway, this guy would go out there and beat him with Harbaugh's team, and he would cry on camera. So they're like, we got to hire him. The players love him, everything. Da, 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 da. And now look, they're like 5-5. They're terrible. He's going to be out next year. Or after next year, probably. It's just, you got to be careful with, well, the players are coming up to me. They want this guy hired. They love this guy. They're playing hard for him. You got to be smarter than that with the interims.
One of the best examples of all time of that was with Michigan Hoops, with Steve Fisher. Right? What was that, 92, 93? Michigan went on, won the national title with Raheem, the kid I played football against, Ramil Robinson, who went to Cambridge and Latin High School, the same high school that Patrick Ewing went to, right smack dab in the middle of the city of Boston. He was a hell of a wide receiver, Ramil Robinson was, but I think it was in 89 maybe. He made both free throws. When the Glenn Rice, Ramil Robinson team in 89 when they beat Seton Hall.
They went to the Final Four.
Didn't their coach leave like right in the midst of the Big Ten conference tournament? Then it was the Frieder-Fisher deal. One of them was Frieder, the other was Fisher. And then he went on to win 6 straight NCAA games, won the national title on an interim basis, if I remember correctly. So that was an example of one that did work out.
Brian Dutcher as assistant coach?
No, I think it was Bill Frieder and Steve Fisher.
Oh, yeah. Steve Fisher was there for a while from 89 to 97.
Frieder went off to Arizona State, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he went out west. Better weather. All right. I really overdid it early, so I need to get caught up here with the break. And when we come back, though, as promised, I want to play some of the stuff today that Doug Pederson said. I guess the common term now is cringe.
Yes, it's very entertaining, but it's very cringe. Oh, by the way, you're right. Frieder, who is without ever having experienced a loss as the team's head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was I normally am not someone that tunes into the Monday morning pressers, but man, I was locked into this one.
Yeah, we're going to play 3 or 4 clips for you. We don't normally do it like this, but I think it's newsworthy. And I want you to hear it and then share your opinion with us. But to me, it felt like he wanted to say so much, and he didn't. But there's some stuttering. There's some pausing. Did we keep the pauses in, or did we?
I took a lot of them out.
Okay.
But there's still some in there.
All right. So we're going to do that at the top of the hour. And remember, tomorrow night at this time, we take phone calls.
This is the last play of the game.
After the game, join Hacker, Leon, and Coach Campo for the Window World of Northeast Florida 5th quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Lawn and Hurricane Grill and Wings. 2 hours after the final whistle on game day on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O. If you want high-quality water in your home at a fair price that won't scare you to death, then talk to someone who knows water and is not a pushy salesman. Contact your local water boy, Keith. I install premium equipment and can repair or even rebuild your existing system. In a business known for aggressive sales tactics, let me show you how my approach is different. If you've got any water problems, contact the water boy at waterboyjack.com.
Movember is Men's Health Awareness Month, so take charge of your health and vitality at Ackerman Urology in Mandarin, Middleburg, the Beaches, and Whirl Golf Village. For prostate and urological needs, trust Ackerman Urology. AckermanUrology.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality product. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors. Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, an equal opportunity employer.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
If you have a slow-draining sink or toilet that sounds like it's about to back up, imagine the potential plumbing emergency when you have family over for the holidays. Flush after flush after flush. Avoid holiday clogs with a call to Duck Duck Rooter today. Duck Duck Rooter will come and resolve those plumbing issues so you can enjoy a free-flowing holiday season. Call 904-862-6769. Visit duckduckrooter.com.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems? Gun charges? Drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Welcome to Rockville. North America's largest rock festival returns to the Daytona International Speedway in 2025 with Green Day, Korn, Shinedown, and Linkin Park. Plus Bad Omens, Incubus, Good Charlotte, Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains, Pierce the Veil, Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Sublime, Hailstorm, I Prevail, Three Doors Down, Jimmy Eat World, Motionless in White, Bush, Chevelle, Mudvayne, and so many more. Welcome to Rockville takes over the Daytona International Speedway May 15th to the 18th, 2025. 5 stages, 4 days, and over 150 bands. 4-day, single-day camping and VIP passes on sale now at welcometoRockville.com.
Jaguars fans, want to meet some of your favorite players? Coke Florida, Publix Supermarkets, and the Jags are giving you the chance. Join 1010XL at Publix, 170 Village Commons Drive, St. Augustine, Tuesday, November 19th at 5. For autographs, pictures, raffles, and more. Get off the sidelines and get to Publix to grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola, Coke Zero Sugar, or any of your favorite Coca-Cola beverages using Publix digital app. The Jaguars and Coke Florida. There's magic when we cheer together at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Still trying to come back after my high on Thursday night, seeing Darrell Hall in St. Aug. A 52-6 loss yesterday helps that out a little bit. But I think I was the youngest one there. St. Aug Amp. Philadelphia's Darrell Hall. They didn't play this one. I wonder if he had some licensing problems with John Oates, the 5'4" bassist, who apparently wants to kick his ass.
How many of his new original or single songs did he do?
5 or 6. You know what? That's what the Jaguars need. They need 11 defensive John Oates. 5'4" guys that'll just run through a brick wall. Just tell them that it's Darrell Hall on the other side.
Dewey's.
He's got a new album out called D. And he played a couple of tracks off it. I actually really liked it. I looked for it today during my walk, and I couldn't find it. I may have to pay for it. But he didn't play this, and he didn't play Rich Girl.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's why I wonder if it was a licensing deal that, maybe John Oates wrote those songs.
Well, I saw on his set list from a show just the other day that he did, so
well,
maybe he just wasn't feeling you guys.
No, he played Sarah Smile. He played Sarah. You know what the problem was? The board up.
That's usually always the problem.
Way too much feedback. And surprisingly enough, who was really good was his opening act, Howard Jones. He was much better than I expected. Kind of like an 80s pop musician. But anyway, there was too much feedback. Great 7-piece band. They sound really good. And I'll be the first to tell you, whenever you get an opportunity to get out to St. Augustine and go to the Amp, it's always a spectacular time. It's really nice people out there. That's what I want. I like nice people, right? I want to come into your homes, sit down with you, have some dinner, pat the cat. And I feel like I get that type of treatment in St. Augustine. All right. There have been no firings, despite a 52-6 destruction at the hands of the Detroit Lions yesterday. I am more than surprised. I am shocked that nothing went down earlier today. Doug Pederson met with us at around 1:40. And, well, I want to play it for you because I have so much that I want to say about this. But for those of you who did not get an opportunity to hear any of it, let's play this clip, Pederson and his job status.
Have you had conversations with Shad yesterday?
Just after the game.
Are you meeting with Shad tonight?
Mm-mm. Not yet.
But, you don't have anything scheduled, huh? There's nothing on the books further.
I wouldn't tell you. But no.
Who told Shad that this was the best team ever assembled? I can't imagine that him being away from them, that he just decided that on his own.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not privy to those conversations that Shad has, or who's he talking. Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that.
It wasn't you.
No.
Okay. I mean, that gets a lot of play this time of year.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I mean, we talk. We talk a lot. I mean, we preseason, off season. I mean, going into the season, you got high expectations, obviously, for your football team, as you should. Everybody does. Start of camp, start of the regular season, and rightfully so.
All right, so there you have it. No, I love that. No, yeah, I mean, it was never. A head coach would never do that. You would never put himself on that mantelpiece before the start of the season. If you got to see it visually earlier today, the body language, the facial expression, to me, it felt like Doug Pederson wanted to say, who do you think it was? It was the general manager. It was Trent Baalke, who told Shad Khan, this is the best team that's ever been assembled here in Jacksonville. Here's the big problem with all this. We don't know of anyone else who was in the Shad Khan inner circle. For all we know, the Shad Khan inner circle consists of son Tony, Trent Baalke, and Mark Lamping. And that's it. There's never been another name mentioned. There was Polian a little bit, right? And Coughlin, Polian to Coughlin, and Coughlin to Pederson, and so. But I mean, when you're an owner and you're at this level, and that gets us to the next part of this. Who is he going to trust to help him make the next decision? There has to be a massive overhaul in the front office. That has to happen before you identify who your next head coach is going to be. You have to be set at the top. And a couple of years ago, when they took the tag off of Baalke and they went in and got Pederson, and I've said it a million times, they screwed up that hire to begin with. It was a Mickey Mouse operation. It took them way too long. They brought in him and Jim Caldwell. They let a month go by before circling back. They let all the Leftwich, Eberflus, all these ridiculous rumors just grow and grow and grow before settling on Pederson. And at that time, we were told that there was going to be a higher up, someone who Trent Baalke would report to. And he would report to Shad. And like in a very short period of time, that was eliminated. And I remember being at that press conference where Shad Khan said, no, Doug and Trent get along so well that we don't need. Well, guess what? This time around, you need that guy. And this is a very I keep hearing Tony Baselli. Fine. I think Tony would be fantastic. I don't know if Tony wants the job. Okay, maybe he does. Tony would be fantastic at it. A guy who can walk up to Trent Baalke or Trent Baalke's replacement and say, listen, you need to talk. You can't let 3 weeks go by after being 8-3, letting this thing fall apart, and there was no explanation. There was no Q&A. There was no transparency to these Jaguar fans who would now social media are going absolutely crazy. They want answers. Trent Baalke would have been asked to be out here anyway, but I bet that there would be a different feeling for some of you out there if he at least answered the questions. You know what Baalke does? He has off-the-record conversations once or twice a year with selected members of the media. Do you think he invites me to be a part of that? Honestly, ask yourself that question. When they hand out who's allowed to go off the record with Trent, do you think Rick Ballou is on that list? Hell no. Absolutely not even close to it. whether it's Baselli or whether it is someone else, you need a guy who Shad Khan will take that phone call. You need a guy who can talk to Shad and tell him what is going on in the Miller Electric Center. A former player, a Hall of Famer. If it's not Baselli, it's got to be someone. You want one of yours. I was kidding about Notre Dame the other night. They've tried Drew Brees. They've tried Doug Flutie. They had Pat Hayden. They now have Todd Blackledge. I mean, you're talking about USC, Penn State, Purdue, and BC. You're trying to tell me with the success of Notre Dame, there's not a Notre Dame alum who can be the color analyst on the Notre Dame network?
Well, they tried it. He sucks. Bob Davie, remember they had him for a while.
All right, but
you're right.
Yeah.
Like, all had their main rivals.
No doubt. Okay.
Like Doug Flutie's in there.
You don't go out and hire Derek Brooks. You know, you don't go out and hire Warren Sapp, who's coaching the defensive line with Damian Lewis.
That would be one of the most fantastic things to ever happen to this.
Yeah, how about
town.
Damian Lewis? He's really moving up as well. The defensive line coach of Colorado, another former of the U, member of the U, first-round pick. But you want a Jacksonville guy.
Someone who would be upset about what they saw yesterday.
Right. Who wants the gig? You know, there's plenty of alumni in town. But you need a guy that is respected in both positions. A guy who can talk to Khan and tell Khan what's up and maybe gather instructions from the team owner and then turn around to Trent Baalke and say, hey, listen, man, you've got to talk to the people. You don't wait 21 days to do it like you did last year with all the problems that happened at the end of the season. You've got to address this. You can't hide from it. You can't run from it. This team really screwed up in a lot of different ways last year with that losing season at the end. I mean, think about it. Baalke didn't speak for 3 weeks. Just remember how the end of the year went. Trevor's not going to go today, or Trevor's going to practice today. He's going to give it somewhere. And then we find out he didn't practice. All right, and then right after that final game, what was the major one with Doug Pederson again, right at the end? Oh, I can't even think of it right now. That happened at the very end with Doug Pederson. That was so controversial. It was, I know. Doug Pederson has a season-ending press conference. Tells us I have to think about making some coaching changes. You know, it's going to, and I'm paraphrasing here, I'm not quoting, but the way that it was explained, he needed to sleep on it. He needed some time before he would decide if he's going to make any coaching changes within a couple of hours. Mike Caldwell and the staff was fired. And again, all you have to do is sit there and say, wow, he got overruled. Trent Baalke came up to him and said, fire your defensive coordinators. Or Shad Khan got to him and said, fire your defensive coaches. And again, that's bad business. That's a bad look. It's why this organization gets laughed at. You should have had the conversation prior to the press conference. Okay? It was so bad for Doug. He had so many missteps about not knowing if his players are practicing. And then all of a sudden, on top of that, to say, I need some time to think about it, and within a few hours, they're gone. I mean, that's just, in the business world, that's poor. And it came from one or two guys. It had to come from either Trent or Shad. It had to have.
Well, yeah, today he was asked, do you have the authority to even fire Nielsen?
Oh, yeah.
And you could tell that obviously it was a bulky hire because he's like, well, I'd have to talk to Shad about it first. But then he went on to say he wouldn't fire any assistants yet. But yeah, I guess it was a couple weeks ago, he was asked about like the problems with the defense. And he was like, I just stay away from that. Like, that's not me. That's Nielsen. Like, he totally threw his defensive coordinator under the bus, while at the same time saying that he's completely hands-off on the defense and really has no part in the scheme or anything going on over there.
Especially after last year when he said that while, he wasn't able to be fully invested in calling plays offensively because that year took him through phases or whatever that he had never seen before. Right. Remember that? And I forget the exact quote, but it was really alarming. And then we kind of find out after the fact that they had no faith in Mike Caldwell. Although you look at Mike Caldwell's defense, it's a hell of a lot better than the defense they're walking out there this year. Oh, my
God. He was somewhere watching that game with a cigar yesterday, laughing his ass off.
So that's what the organization needs. Okay? You need your general manager to have full say on your draft in your free agency to build this team. But he also should report to someone else. And that someone else, in my opinion, should not be a guy who says, oh, you're looking at a left tackle. No, we need a corner. You still let the general manager do his job and get his players. But you have this individual and give him a decorated title, give him anything that he wants, where he literally is the communication between ownership, the coach, and the general manager. And yet you have to be a respected former player. That's who holds the title. Peyton Manning could do that in Minnesota, in Indianapolis, right? Dan Marino has done that in Miami. It's a glorified title, but it's a guy that can reach between both parties. I don't know what the friction is like right now. We heard that after Buffalo, how pissed Shad Khan was. Well, that was nearly a month ago now.
More than that.
You meet after the game. What do you talk about after a 52-6 loss? I mean, what is your conversation about? And would it be better served by Shad Khan talking to a Tony Baselli or someone in his category, and then Baselli talking to the coach, and Baselli talking to the gentleman? I don't know. But it is a position that needs to be added. Okay? Absolutely. Great organizations have them. Look at how small this organization is, front office-wise. It's not like I've studied the other 31 organizations, but I would tend to believe that they have the least amount of people on the payroll right here in this city of any NFL organization. Look at the successful ones and how many folks have daily duties, daily jobs. Look at the names that are being mentioned right now to go get out of Detroit to be the heir apparent here. Head of pro personnel, assistant, whatever it may be. This is a hard part of it. I mean, I know everything's about the coach and everything's about the draft, everything's about free agency, but finding the right people in the front office. What this city needs is the best available individual to go out and run the team, but they also need one of theirs. They need someone that is going to be pissed after a 52-6 loss. Not that it's just a job, that it's too bad. I was in Washington a year ago, or I was in Chicago a year ago. Now I'm in Jacksonville. No, you need someone who lives here, someone who loves it here. And I think of Baselli, I think of Lageman. I have no idea. Kevin Hardy lives in town. Aaron Beasley. I play golf with Aaron quite a bit. First year as a high school coach. Weidell's in town. The Mangler's in town. Fred Taylor, I think he lives down south but comes in for games. Fred Taylor would be a magnificent conduit If Fred Taylor goes up to the general manager knowing that he's also talking with Shad Khan, the general manager is going to listen to what Fred Taylor has to say. Now, I don't know if any of these guys want this gig. But you need it. You do. All right, let's take a break here. Getting a ton rolling in. Here's a good one here. Rick, 68-33. Everyone wants Ben Johnson. Right. If you're Ben Johnson and you watch this slop yesterday, you want to come over and coach this team? I mean, honestly. Now, I know every coach is wired that they can fix it and they can do it. Cincinnati losing last night didn't help. I still think Joe Burrow in Cincinnati is going to be the most attractive job. Come on.
That offense.
Come on.
You're walking into a offense that could already go to the Super Bowl.
What has he got? 28 touchdowns and 4 picks? Right? You got to get Higgins signed. Chase is calling out Zach Taylor, and he's a diva. You expect that out of diva wide receiver. But if you have your pick of the jobs, you're taking Joe Burrow in Cincinnati over Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. Now, Trevor may be second. Right? And I kind of feel like Dallas is going to make a big splash, so it's either Belichick or Dion. That's kind of the way I feel. I may be wrong. But don't isolate yourself here to just Ben Johnson, because he may, and I've heard, Ben Johnson and Brunell, that's great. How great would it be? Baselli, the eye in the sky. Mark Brunell, your offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson, your head coach. All right, who's the GM? But don't limit yourself just to that, because you could be very easily disappointed again. I'm sure Ben Johnson, knowing how wanted he is beginning to do his homework. And I'm telling you, the people that I talk to that are involved in the national, when you start getting words of Jacksonville's organization, and those words are horrendous, that filters back to coaching candidates. It does. This organization right now is not looked at fondly. It is. It's one thing after another. You just got out from under the ruins of the NFLPA saying don't play. Don't go to Jacksonville to play. You had to overcome that. And now you're dealing with totally different problems. So, I hate to say it like this, but it's almost, if there's a job opening at Alabama, or if there's a job opening at Georgia, and all of a sudden you're considering a job at Southern Miss, where are you going to go? Right now, Jacksonville's Southern Miss. They are, compared to other organizations. That, my friends, is the truth.
It's the ultimate tailgate.
You could win a weekly tailgate combo pack from Southern Steer Butcher, valued at $100. And monthly winners get a Corona tailgate tent with a cooler, chair, and collectible football. Enter at 1010XL.com.
Epic offers. Factory direct pricing on AC equipment from Epic Cool Heating and Air. Call 904-859-EPIC. Epic discounts for military, police, first responders, and 1010 listeners like you. Epic Cool Heating and Air.
Our most popular meat combo is ready to grill this season. Pounds and pounds of marinated steak tips and chicken, fresh ground beef, and homemade sausage. Just ask for the sampler combo.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Picking here with a message from Zero Res. You gotta just love this time of the year as we reflect on the things that matter most. Families, homes, the holidays, and of course football. They're very grateful for you all, the good people of Jacksonville, and they want to thank you. So get ready for the holidays. Book today, and Zero Res will clean your carpets for only $49 a room. Plus, they'll give you 25% off your tile cleaning. This one fills up fast, so book now on both carpet and tile. Zero Res, fill it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 18, 1964, Baltimore Orioles third baseman Brooks Robinson, Baseball Hall of Famer, wins American League MVP.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
Are you ready to upgrade your home? Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Andersen. Energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, save 20% on your entire project. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
I'm living proof that with Rebound Rehab, you can bounce back and get back in the game. Joe C. for Rebound Rehabilitation, and they helped me recover from an ankle injury that had me down and out. Their team of physical therapists ensure you'll get the best treatment you need to recover and regain mobility. From back, shoulder, and neck pain to a nagging knee or arthritis, Rebound Rehab can help form a game plan through therapy and exercise, complete with an app so you can continue to recover at home. Check out reboundrehab.com, 8 convenient locations.
What's changed totally inside and out? The Kuhn Flowers massive storefront, and yes, they've totally remodeled the showroom inside too. This is Frank Frangie, and the next time you drive by, stop and smell the roses at Kuhn Flowers.
Where on your body is the weenus? The answer next.
When you call Southern Oak and file a claim, you'll be handled by our hand-picked vendors who will analyze any roof, storm, or water damage. It'll save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The weenus is your elbow skin and can be pinched as hard as you want, and it will never cause pain.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows in $2.95.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness. But money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing, unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters. Because fish never argue about who stole whose crop top, or get mad the other fish used up all the hot water. No, they just swim around, never embarrassed to be seen with you in public. So save money by bundling your boat or RV insurance with home or auto from Progressive. And buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Tonight with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Went to a Daryl Hall concert. It came out a Howard Jones fan. Oh, my God, it was 1982 in that place. Tell you what, a lot of single ladies running around looking for some love on that Thursday night out there. It was a good time. Gosh, this guy was so bad in high school and stuff. I remember laughing at him. It actually sounded good. He used the same band that Daryl Hall would use. 7-piece band.
Isn't that funny how our music opinions change? Like, you always say, like, the hair band era, you were just, like, disgusted by it. But now you're like, some of those bands are pretty good. I feel exactly the same way about, like, Flock of Seagulls.
Now, that's the first concert I ever saw.
Really?
It was the Fix, Flock of Seagulls, and then the Police. Yeah, it was the Synchronicity tour.
But yeah, like, as a kid growing up, I heard that song. I'm just
with
like,
the Patriots
this
play.
Sucks. But now I'm like, that's amazing. They're great.
Out in Foxborough. Love the Flock of Seagulls. 9800 says, Blue, if Balky doesn't get fired, you guys have a responsibility to be very loud about it because it's obvious the fans are ignored. How much louder do you want me to be? I mean, at his season-ending press conference last year, I brought up his job security. He told me he wasn't nervous about losing his job. I also went through a long list of defensive ends he could have brought in and refused to. Remember when he said, I'd like to see your list? I mean, I don't know if there's... I'm not putting myself out on a pedestal, but has anyone in town been as vocal about Trent Baalke as I have?
No.
I would have fired him years ago. I've been saying it consistently for years. It's not personal. It's just I don't think he's right for the job. And again, I'd be nervous that he survives this. Now, 52-6 doesn't help. Okay? That's another... You're going to have to overcome that, too. If they keep getting blown out like this, then I think the chances of him getting fired are improving. But I'm so worried about Shad. I just don't know who Shad's people are. And again, Trent Baalke doesn't have to impress me. He doesn't have to impress you. He only has to impress Shad Khan. And I've always said this, and I'm not going to change my opinion on it now. I have believed forever that Urban Meyer and now Doug Pederson, they were not Trent Baalke hires. They were Shad Khan hires. That's my opinion. There is no way. Jacksonville was out in front of everyone after the Urban Meyer debacle. And just go back and review how that hiring process went. Remember we just went through day after day after day after day? I'm like, what are they doing? They immediately brought in Pederson and Jim Caldwell. And then there were other coaches, and you had that nonsense coming out of Arizona and the stuff coming out of Tampa. But days kept going by, and it was almost like they had no clue on how to pursue their next head coach. And then they settled on Pederson. And it felt to me like someone got to Shad Khan. Or Shad Khan figured it out himself. I'm bringing in a Super Bowl winning coach. Doug Pederson's the guy. I'm convinced that he was not a Trent Baalke guy. 0037 Ballou, your point there, Rick, was crazy. I don't know what point that was. You got to tell me. I try to make quite a few points. 0148, I agree with both championship hires, Urban and Doug. Now it's time to move on. Yeah. Ballou and Coughlin built this franchise. He was also the GM. You probably don't remember that. If I got that senile, I was here for it. And he got a lot of help with Michael Hugh. He got a lot of help with Shaq Harris. No doubt.
Here's a text, which I haven't heard all day.
All right.
From on air or text or whatever, Twitter. Have you considered that Doug might not get fired? Like, I assume he's just out at the end of the year, but I mean,
I know one.
What if he wins some games here down the stretch or something? And like, could you fathom them keeping him around if he's like 5 and 12 or something?
I know one reporter on the beat who believes that is possible.
Wow, I haven't heard that yet.
Hey, listen, I'll be the first to tell you if you could pick one, fire one.
Oh yeah,
Pederson or Balky. I'm firing Balky in a heartbeat.
Agreed.
I still think Pederson could be a good coach, but let's play the clip real quick about when he gets choked up here today when asked about. It was Mia who asked him, Mia O'Brien, about, again, play calling, and this was the response earlier today by Doug Pederson.
Gosh, I really wish. Let's just put it this way, everything's on the table. Let's leave it at that.
He, wanted to bust out with something.
That was half of, there was a lot more.
Yeah, it was a long pause. Yeah, we cleaned that up. You cleaned it up as a producer, but there was a long pause. And it felt like he was going to drop some major information, and then he just pulled back and said, nah, let's just leave it at that.
To me, it was like, hey, I have been calling, we're all calling plays here. You know, I think that the media has been so focused on hey, it's Press, right? Press is the one calling plays. He sucks, right? Why don't you get back to it? I think it's been a mix. I think it's just been them working together to. So I think that was part of his answer, because he was like, if you, honestly, I thought he was going to say if you only knew how it's been working, you wouldn't ask that question. But who knows? I could be talking out of my ass. I just find it hard to believe that the offense been so stagnant for 2 years that he refuses to help out or step in.
The 0148 says, Ballou, you only didn't like Urban because you're an FSU guy.
Oh, Jesus.
You people can't figure me out. I think I'm a pretty simple guy, a meat and potato guy. Rewind the tape. I was all in on Urban, too. I had an impeccable source at the time who showed me his cell phone at 4 a.m., this guy working. I mean, Urban, and again, in this business, people do not want to say I was wrong. I've been wrong on the last two. Dead wrong. I thought Urban Meyer was going to work. I absolutely thought it was going to work with Urban Meyer. He fooled. Now only a few people will admit it. I have no problem admitting it. And I was also wrong with Doug Pederson. I'm 0 for the last two. So you probably don't want me endorsing the next head coach. No matter who it is, you probably want to hear me say bad hire. Okay? You can count them on one hand. The people out there who said, oh, yeah, this is going to be great with Urban Meyer, who now will never say that. I happen to be one of them. I thought it would work. And I absolutely thought it would work, and he would be the perfect replacement when Doug Pederson came on board. All right, much more to do.
He'll cross the line into the danger zone so you can be informed from the safety of home.
Out here, it's military law, and I'm in charge of enforcing it.
His car line takes you behind enemy lines. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Ballou here for Spunez Vision. Why Spunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Spunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Spunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Spunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SpunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Now, the Hurricane Report. Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Hurricanes, still sitting at 9-1, got to sit back and relax this weekend as they had a bye week. Up next for the Canes is Wake Forest at noon on ESPN. In off-the-field news, Mario Cristobal was able to land Hayden Lowe, the number 44 prospect in all of America, an edge rusher who was previously committed to USC. The Hurricane Report brought to you by Performance Painting.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group, 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Weekends were made for sports, and I'll tell you my take on this weekend's best options. Pick it here. Watch for Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan is brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Huddle up at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. Dig into fan-favorite dishes and new shareables, including carne asada loaded fries, hot honey wings, and boom boom sliders. Try new cocktails like the spicy Guavarita and the Red Bullarita, or enjoy bucket specials featuring Miller Lite, Modelo Especial, and High Noon during all pro and college football games. Don't miss out. Grab your friends and family and swing by Hurricane Grill and Wings and see what everyone's cheering about. HurricaneWings.com.
It's a sale so big, it's been over 40 years in the making.
It's Beard's Diamonds' incredible 44th anniversary sale. Everything store-wide is on sale, up to 44% off.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Foye Oluokun was electric on Sunday versus Detroit. The 6'2 linebacker tallied a team-high 9 tackles against the Lions, with 6 being solo. Simply put, Foye laid the hits in Hitsville and is your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic.
My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local print management partner, and home to Xerox and HP copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
GoABSinc.com.
Prosser here. I've been telling you for years about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us. Imagine watching your favorite team in your new Lifetime Man Cave, family hangout, or Lifetime's version of a she shed. And now Lifetime is expanding their replacement window division. Make your home energy efficient with their Energy Star rated windows. Enclosures, flooring, and windows to fit any and all budgets. Visit the showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let Lifetime be your home team.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Slow, and I want to talk to you today about having a grateful spirit. As we journey in life, it's so easy to take things for granted. But I want to encourage you to never get tired of thanking God for your blessings. Take time also to thank the people in your life who have and are helping you to become the person you are today. Don't go through life complaining. Go through life praising.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Jaguars fans, want to meet some of your favorite players? Coke Florida, Publix Supermarkets, and the Jags are giving you the chance. Join 1010XL at Publix, 170 Village Commons Drive, St. Augustine, Tuesday, November 19th at 5. For autographs, pictures, raffles, and more. Get off the sidelines and get to Publix to grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola, Coke Zero Sugar, or any of your favorite Coca-Cola beverages using Publix digital app. The Jaguars and Coke Florida. There's magic when we cheer together at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Well, the big news today is no one got fired. Still shocked after a 52-6 loss in which the Jaguars set all sorts of team records, type of team records you don't want to set, especially in your 30th year. But we heard from Doug Pederson earlier today, of course, a bye week. So could something change? Could a meeting with Shad Khan happen tonight? Could it happen tomorrow or Wednesday? Yeah. I thought for sure if it was going to happen, it would be today, and it did not. In other news, Gabe Davis lost for the year, meniscus tear, so his season is over. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we take your phone calls. We'll do that. We'll be with you from 6 to 8, but we'll take calls at 7. Hackers coming up next. Thank you to JJ LaSalva. My name is Rick Ballou. I don't check the text line. Now that the show is over, you can always get me on X or Twitter. Ballou 1010XL. We'll talk tomorrow.